you were not necessarily somebody that was in the like professional athlete space. You weren't really associated with any professional sports or anything like that. So for this, what was the motivator for you to get involved with the brand at all? And then what is the direction that you feel you want to take it, and why?
So, obviously being involved in like youth sports and being around like youth sports quite a bit, I noticed like how prevalent the brand BioSteel was, and whether it be especially baseball or hockey. And when I ended up hearing that BioSteel was bankrupt, first of all, I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. I was like, how could this be? Obviously, but not necessarily, I guess, oblivious to how it ends up happening, right? And then Clark, we were working out in the morning in the back of the warehouse there, and he was like, "Hey, like I think we should look into BioSteel." And I was like, "Really? Like that's kind of crazy."
What was it? Sorry, I've heard, not sort of cut you off. I've heard you say that he said that to you a bunch of times. What was his reason that he thought it would be something good to look at? Like, what was the motivator, even on his side, that convinced you to think it was a good idea?
It's actually a great question. I don't really know. To be honest with you, I actually don't know. I think he smelled blood, maybe. Maybe he smelled blood in the water. I don't know. But he was like, "Hey, we should actually really take it." Maybe it was because too we were looking for a way to break into the retail space. Maybe that's another reason. I've never asked him that question, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just like, "Hey, let's take a look at what went wrong there, so we can never do it here." Right? Maybe it's that. I'm gonna actually ask him that question, to be honest with you, and get back to you. So we ended up looking into it. You almost have to like apply to buy a bankrupt company, at least in Canada. I don't know if that's the same way anywhere else, but we almost kind of like had to apply for it. I had to almost like interview for it to make sure that, hey, if I take this over, it's not going to be bankruptcy 2.0. Like, what was the structure? What was your game plan? Like do you even have the means to do it? I had to like make sure that they saw that I had the financial wherewithal to do it. They ended up liking the fact that I had in-house manufacturing. They saw a synergy there. They liked the strategy that I would kind of keep them separate, where, Canadian Protein would be like a D2C brand. BioSteel was very weak online, which we were very strong online. Canadian Protein was very weak in retail, but at the time I was kind of like, well, maybe we use this as a break into retail for Canadian Protein. There was just like so many synergies, right? And then, we ended up getting the brand, and then just a full year of trying to fix all the crazy broken aspects of the brand. It was, we never really got a look into like how broken the brand was prior to actually buying it. It was outrageously, the previous management and ownership or whatever of this brand were easily the worst operators I have ever had the ability to look into. Like it was shocking, the amount of disrespect for money that they had. And I say that because people should always respect money. The amount of disrespect they had for it, the amount of disrespect they had for investors, the sheer amount of irresponsibility that they had of operating a business was shocking to me. Regardless, we ended up fixing it. It's very stable now. And then in the midst of all of that, we have the owners of Leamington Flyers, who two of them are good buddies of mine. One owns a law firm, and the other one owns an accounting firm. And they were like, "Hey, we've got this academy that we just purchased. It was going under. We should change the name to BioSteel." And I can't even remember if that was like the initial thing. Maybe it was just like a sponsorship. And I was like, "Oh man, maybe it was me. I don't remember. Maybe I brought it up. Hell, let's just like change the name to BioSteel Sports Academy." And they were like, "Perfect, let's do it," because the brand is well known more than, what it was called, A21 or whatever they were going to call it. Like, they also own the Leamington Flyers. I think they were going to call it the Flyers Academy, which I think BioSteel is more well known than the Flyers, right?
Yeah.
So, which is, no, it kind
of
is.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. But so we ended up changing the name, and then what ended up happening was over the course of the year, nothing really happened, or at least the way that it was expected to happen, because they're entrepreneurs, they got big businesses that they run, this and that, and I don't think that they were able to focus the right amount of energy to turn the academy around, or actually make it like a viable option for whatever they had plans to make it for, or whatever, or take it in the direction that they wanted it to take it in. So I basically went to them and I said, listen, I really like what's going on here. I think I could do a really great job of managing this, but I don't want to be a minority partner. I don't want to be a small, portion of ownership. I need majority ownership, or all of it, pretty much. Like, I need to own it all. Let me buy it off you, or I'm going to step back and I'll sponsor the academy for what I feel would be a reasonable, value. And those are really the two options. And I think they realized that the best move for everyone, or the academy itself, was for me to take it over, keep it the BioSteel Sports Academy, use it as a marketing engine for the brand, and then also use it as, because it's a marketing engine, make it a vehicle for top talent to come through the door without requiring top level price tags. And that's essentially how this all happened. And we just, pretty much inked the deal, not actually long ago, to be honest. And here we are.